What's up? What's up? What's going on? What's up? What's up? What's going on, people? What's going on? How's it going? How y'all feel about this whole situation? How y'all feeling? Y'all sad or what? Y'all sad, man? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Y'all gotta let me know. Let me know something. I don't understand Indian. English. English. English only. Well, ching chong or whatever you call it. I don't understand that, bro. You don't have to speak English or type English. That's what you don't have to do. But let me know how y'all feel, bro. Y'all over here just staring. Speak. Let me know how you feel. You ain't gotta be shy. Let me know how y'all feel about this whole situation. Y'all feel he died from a meth overdose, or do y'all feel like his death was a casualty, or what? Are y'all like empathetic about it, or what? How y'all feeling? I think he actually died from a meth overdose. I don't think the bullet actually killed him. But those are just my personal thoughts. I don't think I don't think the bullet had anything to actually do with it. I think he possibly passed from his health condition. That's how I feel. I feel like he probably died from some prior health conditions or something. What's up? What's up? What's going on, people? Y'all gonna have to let me know something. I'm just staring, seeing some creepers. going on with all these damn foreigners up in here, bro? All these goddamn Pakistanis and stuff. Man, shit on the sprinkler soon. I'm checking on the damn computer. What's up? What's up, people? What's going on? What's up? What's up, people? What's going on? What's going on, people? Why y'all being so lame on him? I don't know what fucking country they got. You're in a fucking freezer. Bro. You're in a freaking freezer. So. You said that you heard he died from fentanyl. I mean, shoot, maybe. All I say is we gotta wait for more evidence to come out. You never know. I don't think he died from the actual bullet, though. I think he died from health issues. That's what I'm guessing. We don't exactly know all the evidence yet. We're gonna have to wait for more evidence to come out, unfortunately. What's going on, Darkface? What's up, though? Yeah, I mean, shoot, it could have been any other kind of drug. Bum. Why am I a bum, Stephen? Are you sad about this whole situation or what? Are you crying? Because Charlie Boy got knocked off? Are you mad? Why you so sad, bro? I'm salty. No, I'm not salty at all. I'm just trying to wait for more evidence to come out because we don't know if he died from health conditions or we don't know if he actually died from a bullet. You know, we just gotta wait for more information to come out. We don't know if he was on meth. We don't know what Charlie was on. We gotta wait for more evidence to come out. I'm just trying to be, trying to have all the facts straight before I just start like assuming things, before I start like accusing people of, um, assassination and all this other stuff. We don't know what Charlie died from at this point. He could have had prior health conditions. He could have been on drugs. We don't know. Show your mom what you're doing. What do you mean, show my mom what I'm doing? What does that mean? I'm chilling. Good luck with your miserable life. Why my life gotta be miserable? I'm over here chilling in a nice, civilized area, unlike yourself. You're probably over there focused on gang violence, like Charlie's last words was when y'all need to be focused on white on white violence because y'all's neighborhoods and y'all communities are so corrupt. Charlie didn't die from a black person. Charlie got killed by a white person. So maybe y'all should focus on y'all's own communities and get white on white crime and white violence under control because it seems to be running rapid right now. Seems like everybody is highly running around on meth, high out of their minds, no kind of self control, no fathers in the home. You know, I think he died from health conditions. The way that he fell back looks like it was a touch of heart disease. Exactly. He didn't go to the gym from what I'm looking at. He didn't look like he was in shape. Fit. He looked like he was very unhealthy, possibly on meth. You know, we don't know his health conditions, but I don't think the bullet actually killed him. No, I don't think that's what actually took Charlie away. I think he had prior health conditions. That's exactly why he passed. But it's just so ironic how his last words was gang violence when he should have been focused on white crime this whole time. I just find that to be so ironic. Why are you on here talking about a man that died? The same reason why they were talking about Floyd, the same reason why they were talking about all these other, you know, black individuals that Charlie was so focused on when he should have been focused on his own community. Agree, waiting for the toxology report before assuming he was shot. Exactly. We need to be waiting for all of the evidence to come out besides trying to assume all of this other stuff that's going on. We should wait. We should wait for the evidence. That's all I'm saying. I'm not over here trying to speculate. I'm just trying to start a conversation on, trying to wait for all the evidence to come out before we just assume on what's going on. Not only black gangs. What are you talking about, black gangs? This is very funny. Yeah, I mean, like it's extremely ironic that he was talking about gang violence when he should have been focused on white crime the whole time. I'm just saying, you know, black people didn't take this dude out. It was his own community, possibly due to um, a drug problem that's running rampant in the white community right now. Just saying, just saying. I'm just putting it out there. There's no point of being focused on gangs and black crime and being focused on what black people are doing when he didn't die from a black person. He died from his own people. Mm-mm. So I think white folks should be worried about meth and all of these other drugs that are going on in their own community. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about, meth? OD. because it could have been possibly a meth overdose that actually took him out. We don't know until we get the toxic, until we get the uh, like until we get the autopsy report or whatnot. Like to actually see, like his health conditions or whatnot. We don't know exactly what happened. We don't know if he died from prior health conditions. We don't know exactly. We don't know exactly what happened. So I'm just trying to wait for all the evidence to come out to see if he did have drugs in the system, because we don't know if the bullet actually killed him. We don't know exactly. We could see the blood, yes, but we don't know if he had prior health conditions that actually killed him. Just like with George Floyd, we can clearly see that the cop's knee was on George Floyd's neck. We could clearly see that, but somehow fentanyl got brought up. So just like the whole situation with George Floyd, we should wait and see, with Charlie, to see, if he had meth in his system. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm saying. We should wait to see if he had meth in the system, to see if he actually died from that versus, like the bullet. Blood was squirting. I mean, blood could have been squirting. Just like the officer's knee was obviously on George Floyd's neck. But we're just gonna have to wait to see what he actually died from. That's all I'm saying. Bro, it was a kill shot. I mean, it was a knee. It was a knee shot. The same thing. If you, if I was you, I'd hate Charlie too. He preached God's word. I mean, I don't know about all that, and I'm pretty sure he's not in heaven with God. To be completely honest, I mean, he had a lot of demons in his closet. I love how black people can only hear and see things about color. I don't understand. Charlie's last words was talking about gang violence, and I'm talking about color. His last word, he literally died being focused on black people when he should be worried about his own community, trying to fix his own community. This whole trying to fix his birth rates, trying to fix his drug epidemic that's happening in the white community right now, trying to fix, all of these white shootings that are going on, trying to fix, what's going on with all these white males. He should have been focused on that, but Charlie's last words was gang violence. But he got shot by his own people. His last words was focused on black people for some reason. You're making your community look like a joke. I'm not making my community look any type of way. I'm just pointing out the facts. I think Charlie let his community down by not being focused on, all of the crime and all of the issues that are actually going on in his community. As you can see, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. And that's the majority of black people. I mean, we're doing fine. We're doing great because we're not over here focused on what white people are doing. But Charlie literally died being focused on what black people are doing. People obsessed with black people. Exactly. They're just always obsessed. Like they just always have us in their mind for no reason. My thing is, why didn't Charlie try to debate the bullet? Why didn't he like try to like have a conversation with the bullet before I actually hit him? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, why didn't like he hold up a sign and be like, let's talk before like the bullet actually hit him? He likes to have all these other conversations or whatnot. but he died being focused on black people, being focused on gang violence when he should have been worried about meth violence and all of these trans people, all of these males, all of these white males wanting to be females and stuff, obviously they have some pent up anger. Obviously, something is going on in the white community where there's like a mental health issue going on, or there's some type of complex issue going on to where white males don't know exactly who they are. They got so much anger and hate built up in their heart to where, it's just so much white on white violence going on right now. And I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I'm extremely worried. Why are you going to report my channel, bro? I'm just very concerned about the white community. Dude, bro, dude, get yourself a toothbrush. He spoke about the issues you're ignorant to. Well, free speech. But why wasn't he focused on his own community though? Like he literally died from his own community. He didn't die from gang violence. He didn't die from, all of this violence that is supposedly going on in the black community. No black person came up to Charlie and shot him. Like I'm not understanding like why he was so focused on black people when he died from his own people. Pretty sure it was a black cop. Exactly. And this is the problem. Y'all are so hyper focused on black people when, black people aren't y'all's problem. Y'all y'all are y'all's own problem. Y'all need to fix y'all's own issues within y'all's own communities. I mean, I'm not like y'all are just focused on the wrong things, obviously. And all of this hate gets built up because y'all feel like since y'all's birth rates are low, since y'all are so addicted to drugs, since y'all are constantly transitioning, from males. Y'all don't even know if y'all are males. Y'all don't know if y'all are females. Y'all don't know who y'all are as a people right now. And it's just sad to see the white community like this. Although these prayers commenting on mentally ill is just man, like the dude was the head of the game. There's a huge mental health issue that's going on in the white community right now. There's a huge issue that's going on, but for some reason they don't want to focus on that. Black people are doing good. Black people are doing excellent. As y'all can see, I'm doing great. I'm in a great environment, something that black Americans built. I'm in a great environment, a great situation. But, and that's the majority of black people, we're doing great, we're doing fine. But, it just seems like there's a lot of white people that are hyper focus on us and they're not worried about themselves. And for some reason, like they fall to their own demise basically. And dude's the only black guy who's smiling and makes it look like the sun. If you think because you say it must be true. Yes, everything I say is true. Like crying over a scam artist. Charlie brought this stuff upon himself. If he actually spoke about his own community, trying to make uh, white males, actually better, trying to make them focus on going to the gym, trying to satisfy their women, trying to have more babies, so they can fix the birth rate, trying to, actually focus on themselves and make themselves better. But no, what was Charlie worried about? Charlie was worried about everybody else, every other community besides his own. That's why Black Americans are doing so great right now because we're focused on ourselves and we're focused on our own communities. I'm not No, I'm just pointing out the irony of the whole situation. Charlie's last words, his last words was gang violence, not white on white crime, not white violence that's going on in the white communities. No, this isn't a troll at all. We have to wait until the autopsy report comes out so we can see if he actually died from the bullet or did he die from a meth overdose. We don't know his prior health conditions. We don't know what Charlie was on. We don't know what type of drugs Charlie was on just to assume he died from a gunshot wound. We don't know. We don't know exactly what happened to this guy. The same way that y'all, assume that what happened with George Floyd and all this other stuff, and all of these other accusations that y'all like to make up or whatnot. I'm just trying to wait until all the evidence comes out so we can, actually see and have all the proof and see what type of health conditions that Charlie was in. Because from the looks of it, Charlie didn't take care of himself whatsoever. God is your armor, Jesus something. This guy is literally saying wrong shit, rage baiting people. But why are you? And see, that's the thing. You're over here focused about what Black people are doing when you should be focused about your own community. Like, why are you so sensitive? Want to talk about your criminal record doing something about it? I mean, we could talk about a lot of things, but that's a thing that Charlie was focused on. That's exactly what he was talking on, and look exactly what happened to him. He got shot by his own people. He got killed by his own people. Exactly, Ralph, for being obsessed, being hyper focused and being obsessed with the Black community. This is exactly what's wrong with the white people nowadays, being so focused and so obsessed with what Black people are doing. We live rent free in the majority of white people's minds. We just live rent free. Y'all think about us for absolutely no reason. We could be walking and then, y'all are over there just hyper focused on us for no damn reason. Living off the government. I don't see this living off the government. I don't see this living off the government, bro. I, I didn't pull the race card. Charlie pulled the race card. That's why his last words was gang violence. Mhm. You keep talking about us, and you don't think about you. I'm pretty sure Charlie was thinking about us before he, died from a meth overdose. I'm pretty sure he was thinking about us when he should have been focused on his wife and his kids. But now his wife is going to have, well, his kids are going to possibly have a black stepdad now. I'm just saying. Yes, he died from a meth overdose. Just like how Charlie, always talked about George Floyd dying from a fentanyl overdose. Charlie died from a meth overdose. Ty, why are you worried about my record? Why aren't you worried about white on white crime? Your time will come. I'm pretty sure my time will come. Everybody's time will come. But when they check my, like my health report and Like my autopsy, I'm not going to be on any drugs. They're going to see that I'm perfectly healthy. I go to the gym every day. I take care of myself. And so, but I'm pretty sure Charlie was on drugs. I'm pretty sure there was either crack, fentanyl, meth, something was in his system. I don't think he actually died from that bullet. I don't think a bullet would, just kill you like that. I think it was meth. You're a horrible rage baiter. Hey, I learned it from the best. I learned it from Charlie, okay? I learned how to rage bait from Charlie. Charlie taught me well. White hate, white hate was in his system. He did, he did a cocaine overdose. Exactly. The they just edited the bullet with AI. Exactly. Exactly. We gotta wait for all the evidence to come out. We don't even know if this was, AI with the whole bullet and the gunshot sound. We don't even know. That's what I'm saying. We gotta wait for the autopsy report. We gotta see his whole health background. We gotta see Charlie's criminal record to see, if he did anything prior in the past to bring this upon himself. Because we don't know. We don't know exactly what happened at all. Well, it could have. I mean, like it could have been real. Like he could have actually got shot, but we don't know if he actually died from the gunshot wound, or we don't know if he died from a meth overdose. That's all I'm saying. He was pushing all. He see. I didn't see Charlie as like a predator. He was, like a child predator because he will always come to these college campuses. These school campuses where there were young, they were young, impressionable people, and he would push, all of his ideologies, trying to turn them into fellow white supremacists like himself. But look at how he died. He died from his own people. His own people took him out. No, this is what happens when you talk about the ancestors. This is when, this is what exactly happens whenever you talk down upon black people. The ancestors will come for you. And that's exactly what happened. The ancestors came for Charlie. And now we have one less white supremacist on this earth. We have one less white supremacist on this earth. Thank God for the ancestors. That's all I'm saying. I do believe in reparations. And that's exactly what Charlie spoke up against. He was so hyper focused on what black people's problems and what black people's issues were, and where, trying to prevent black people from getting, certain things, and, trying to constantly trying to, tell the youth about, all of these white supremacist rhetoric and whatnot. And it wasn't even black people that did it to him. It wasn't black crime or black violence that took Charlie out. It wasn't gang violence, as he says with his last words, that took him out. It was his own people. That's all I'm saying. It was his own people. So all I'm saying is, guys, and I'm saying this in good faith, guys, We have to wait until all of the evidence comes out. We have to wait for the toxicology report. There you go, I said it. Toxicology report to come out so we can see how his health conditions were. Because maybe he was high on meth and then, that like then his blood, so then that's why his blood was squirting out like that. Maybe. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. Exactly. He made millions on hate speech. See, this is what happens whenever you're like so negative and like you constantly, talk about negativity and you constantly like demean other communities and, degrade people. This is the energy that you bring upon yourself. So that's exactly what happened with Charlie. He brought all this energy on himself. And, like the sad thing about it, I actually felt sorry for him. Like I actually felt empathetic. I was like, man, they shouldn't kill somebody over free speech or whatnot. But then, like, I started thinking about it. Charlie brought this upon himself. He literally brought this upon himself. And then once again, we don't even know if this dude was on meth when he died. We don't know what type of drugs he was on when he died. As everybody said, like the blood was squirting out of him. So if the blood was squirting, then that means his blood was thin, possibly high on meth. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just pointing out the evidence, bro. I'm just saying, bro. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good today. I just got out the gym earlier. I'm sitting in this nice weather, in this nice environment, around, peaceful, civilized people. I'm just having fun. I'm just, enjoying life. Unlike Charlie. Unlike Charlie. Unlike Charlie. Charlie is now 6 feet under because he was possibly on drugs. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Where Charlie at? Where you at, Charlie? Where you at, Charlie? Where you at, bro? That boy ain't nowhere to be heard of. That boy ain't nowhere to be heard of right now. Wow, real sin of God. Y'all want to check out these new shoes? I got? Them hoes clean, ain't they? Them hoes clean, ain't they though? Ain't they though? Them hoes clean, ain't they? Ah, them hoes clean, ain't they? I bought that off of Charlie's dollar. No, I'm just, I'm just pointing out the evidence. I'm just pointing out the evidence about what exactly happened. You know, and I just find it so ironic that his last words was gang violence. Don't y'all find that ironic? Charlie's last words was gang violence. Gang violence, not the drug problem in the white community. Back that camera up. Uh, you trying to see my body or something or what? But Charlie, he wasn't talking about the drug problem that's going on in the white community. He wasn't talking about, you know, white on white violence, white crime. He wasn't, focused on trying to make white males better. He wasn't focused on, all of these white males transitioning, not knowing if they're a male or a female. They don't. He wasn't focused on any of that. He was focused. He was hyper focused on black people. You're a boule for sure. We know you're sick. I'm perfectly fine. I'm healthy. Just like I said, I got out the gym earlier, feeling good. Go to the gym every day. You know, it applies to everyone. He's not singling out races. Yes, you must not listen to Charlie. You must not like hear his rhetoric that like he constantly spews out. You must not even know who Charlie is. If you can even fix your mind and say that. I grew up on Charlie. I know exactly all of the rhetoric that he, spewed out. That's probably why I initially felt bad because, I did grow up watching Charlie, seeing his debates, seeing all of the BS he, constantly spewed or whatnot. But, I did feel pretty bad at first when I first heard this information. I did. I'm not gonna lie, I felt bad at first. But then I actually started thinking. I actually started thinking about it. And I was like, this dude right here, if he was only focused on his own community, if he was only focused on fixing all of the problems and all of the issues that are going on in the white community right now, if only, then maybe another white person wouldn't have actually took him out. If only, if only Charlie was focused on his own community. But no, he was so hyper focused on black people. Imagine dying being worried about the black community. That's the irony of this whole situation. Imagine your last words being gang violence, literally having black people on your mind and then dying. Imagine that. Imagine that now. Imagine that. That's the irony. And that's exactly why I don't have any empathy or sympathy for this dude whatsoever. Imagine that. Exactly. Imagine that. So I think we should be, definitely. I think we should, probably, be a little bit more worried about what's going on here because this seems like a common trend that's going on. All of these white males, being so violent, and then they're being so violent against each other. I know exactly what the boule is, and I don't know why you keep on repeating that word, the boule. What are you trying to get to, bro? Let him get to one viewer. I mean, you could. I mean, that's cool. People still gonna watch you. They always watch me when I go live, when I post videos, when I do everything, bro. White people, that's one thing that white people can't do. They cannot worry about what black people are doing. That's one thing that y'all can't do is be hyper focused on what black people are constantly doing. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly what I think, Molly. They are super predators. Charlie was a super predator, going around to college campuses, trying to indoctrinate young, impressionable people with his white supremacist ideologies. He was a super predator for sure. But he died being a super predator. He died spitting his rhetoric and, trying to bring division to America. Something that black Americans built. We built this great country that we're in right now. All of these luxuries that, I'm surrounded by right now were created by black people. And Charlie was trying to take that away. Exactly. Hate never wins. But Charlie died on hate. Charlie literally died on hate. How am I gonna be sued? My first words were, I'm trying to wait for all of the evidence to come out to see if he actually died from a bullet wound, you know, or if he died from a meth overdose. That's all I'm saying. Because if he was on drugs, then that explains why he bled out so much. Because drugs tend to make your blood thin. And, people were talking about his blood squirting out and all of this other stuff. Well, he was a super predator. He literally went to college campuses where there's young, impressionable people there, and he was spitting and spewing his white supremacist ideologies. Exactly. His kid was there too. And he's trying to indoctrinate his kid with these white supremacist ideologies. Now his kid is going to be obsessed with what black people are constantly doing. Now his kid won't be able to fix his own community. But hopefully, since Charlie is gone, that child will be able to get a black stepfather. Hopefully, his wife remarries a black person. That way, his child can be raised with a black stepdad. You know how funny that would be. That way, matter of fact, I'm gonna actually look up his wife's Instagram and see if I can, try to be like, oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Let me take you out and let me, help you forget about all of this. Now you're gonna stalk her. No, I'm just gonna DM her. I'm just gonna be sympathetic towards her situation. And I don't mind being a stepdaddy, you know. Exactly. A shoulder to cry on, like pat her on her head, be like, oh, I feel sorry for your whole situation. That's so sad. That's so sad. But just imagine how funny that would be if Charlie's kid actually like has a black stepfather. Because Charlie was only 31, so I'm pretty sure his wife is pretty young as well. So I'm pretty sure at some point in time she is going to remarry. So, I mean, it could possibly be to a black person. I'm just saying. But the reason I bring this up is because all the rhetoric that this guy was spewing, talking about the whole George Floyd situation, trying to be like, oh, George Floyd died, over a fentanyl overdose, when we could clearly see on video that the cop's knee was on his neck. I'm just doing the same situation with him, bringing his same logic to himself. We could clearly see the gunshot, but maybe, just maybe, he was on meth and he died from a meth overdose. This is Charlie's logic. Like I said, I grew up on Charlie. So Charlie taught me this. Don't hate me, hate Charlie. This is what Charlie taught me. He taught me to not see what's on video. Don't believe what's on video. Wait until the autopsy report comes out. And if he has drugs in the system, then it was due to the drugs, not due to what actually physically happened to him. No, don't believe that. Believe the drugs that were in his system. So we're going to wait until we see what was in Charlie's system. And, we're just going to wait for the evidence to come out. Kenneth, it seems like you're a little bit stressed out, buddy. Some people have never got smacked when they say stupid stuff as a kid, and it shows. Yeah, they never got smacked at all. That's exactly why Charlie's last words was gang violence. Because, like, I don't think anybody ever approached him and actually, put him in his place and, like, let him know all of the BS that he was saying. Because clearly, there was a lot of yes men around him, got him actually believing the rhetoric that he was saying. So that's why he felt confident enough to actually, have these debates because he actually really believed that he was telling the truth. And that's the sad thing about it. He actually think he died for something, you know, he actually think he died for something, like respect for or whatnot. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, bro. That's all I'm saying, man. I'm just using Charlie's logic because Charlie taught me. Charlie taught me to speak this way. Charlie taught me to think this way. Charlie taught me this. Charlie taught me this. He taught me not to believe what's on video. Wait until the autopsy report comes out, and then we can see if drugs are in his system, and then that's what we can blame it on. I got this logic from Charlie. That's all I'm saying. I got this logic from Charlie. Why am I shallow? How am I being shallow? This is pure logic. How am I being shallow at all? Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, Kenneth, he can't just use logic. I mean, like, let's think exactly what what would Charlie say in this situation? What would Charlie say in this situation? He would be like, wait, let's wait until all the evidence comes out, see if this guy was on drugs, see if he had like any type of prior health issues. So that's all I'm doing in his situation. That's all I'm doing, bro. I'm just over here using what Charlie taught me. It's clear he mad about the George Floyd thing. No, I'm using Charlie's logic on George Floyd. Charlie said, "Don't believe the video. Don't believe the video. Wait for the autopsy report." So why can't we like? That's what Charlie would say about himself right now, right, Kenneth? Like, how am I? It sounds like you're arguing in bad faith. That's what it sounds like. Because like, what like logic are you using to come to your conclusion? Imagine comparing George Floyd being arrested for a crime and having a heart attack. Exactly. Charlie had a heart attack. He didn't die from the bullet. He had a heart attack. And he overdosed on meth. Possibly. We don't know yet. We don't know if the bullet actually killed him. We don't know. Even though we see it on video, even though we can clearly see the blood spewing out, we don't know. We don't know. Actually, I mean, I've heard rumors, I've heard here and there that Charlie could have possibly been on drugs. So I'm just saying. There are rumors out there. So that's why I'm just saying, meth usage could have possibly been involved here. Today is literally the worst throw. Alright. All right, bye, Kenneth. Enjoy the rest of meth your methy day. Okay. Kenneth is so mad right now, bro. Kenneth, do not go commit a crime, okay? I know how white males get. I can't believe there are people as dumb as this guy who believe this outside of radio. And then you say, I'm thinking, hey, just as I said before, I was raised I was raised off, watching Charlie's debates or whatnot. So I'm just using the same logic, the same talking points. Like, what am I saying wrong here? What am I saying wrong? Like, what would Charlie say right now? CJ, tell me, what would Charlie say right now? How am I not thinking critically? Like, based off of what Charlie has taught us, what these other suspected white supremacists have taught us, what am I saying wrong? Charlie would say, "You're a product of your environment." Exactly. So I'm applying that same logic to him. He's a product of his meth filled environment. He's a part of this toxic, like all of these white males not knowing if they're male, female, all of these gun violent things that are going on in their communities. I'm just using Charlie's same logic. He's a product of his environment. I'm just saying, bro. Like if y'all are saying that I'm wrong, then y'all are calling Charlie wrong as well. I'm just using the same talking points, from all of y'all's favorite debaters, all of y'all's favorite, suspected white supremacists out there. I'm just using their same exact logic to get to this point to where I'm at right now of waiting until all of the evidence is out. No, I'm literally using his same logic and the same talking points right now. That's all I'm doing. Just like I said, at first I did feel bad, but then I actually started thinking about it. I was like, no, why am I feeling bad? Not once has Charlie felt bad about any situation. So no, I need to dig deeper. And I actually need to, see exactly what's going on here and think critically, high IQ, think critically and see what's going on here. But he died from a long shot. That's the irony of it, bro. He died from a long shot. Oh God, bro. God damn. God damn, dude. I don't know. I just still find it, just like ironic that his last words was gang violence. Not one black person has ever caused Charlie violence, but his own community brought violence upon him. Just saying. Just saying. Seems like I triggered everybody. Mission accomplished. He was being asked statistics on shootings over the past 10 years. I mean, so what did that? I mean, so he was asking that, and then like, what what exactly happened though? He can talk about statistics all day, but in reality, what happened to him? And this is exactly my point. You can talk all day, just like he probably could have, tried to debate the sniper before he actually got shot. But all of these words, all of these statistics, all of these, white supremacists, rhetoric and logic that these people constantly like to spew, what is it actually proving? What are we actually seeing? What is the reality that we're seeing? He did not die from gang violence. Something that he brought up in those statistics, right? He didn't die from that. some white woke soul boy getting like into ideas of philosophy. I mean, uh, like I said, I just wish this dude was, focused on a little bit more than, other people's communities. Like, that's one thing I will honestly never understand. Like, he really like stood on this shit. Like, stood on his rhetoric until the very end. When he could have been focused on his own community this whole time. But he chose not to. He put his energy in the wrong place. And this is what his energy brought back to him. And CJ, you're extremely triggered. You're extremely triggered. But hopefully, this will bring some light. Like maybe these white supremacists will actually, wake up and realize they'll be like, oh, we do have a problem in our community. Oh, we do need to fix our, drug problem that's happening in our community. Oh, we do need to, focus on these white males who don't even know if they're males or females or not, and who have this built up anger. Oh, we do need to work on on our birth rates in our community. Maybe this will shine some light to the situation. So these white supremacists won't be so hyper focused on other communities. And things like this won't happen. Hopefully. We can only hope, man. We can only hope. And I love my country too. I completely love my country. That's exactly why I'm saying it. But he was so focused on race baiting, race hustling, doing all of this other, you know, nonsense or whatnot, besides being focused on his own people. It's That's my point, CJ. Gang violence had nothing to do. But that's but that was Charlie's last word was gang violence. It wasn't about the mental health issue that's going on in the white community, specifically with white males. It wasn't about that. It was about gang violence. And we already know when Charlie brings stuff like that up, he's always trying to reference the black community. No, see, I would agree with that, but no, Charlie didn't. He went along with the fear mongering. He used the same talking points as he didn't think outside the box. He literally like went word for word. with these same talking points that a lot of these white supremacists use. He didn't like actually, like use real world, you know, situations and like what's currently going on. He constantly spewed out this rhetoric to the youth. And being a super predator, as I mentioned earlier, going to these college campuses, trying to indoctrinate younger and younger people to constantly spew out the same rhetoric. Not trying to like think outside the box, not trying to think logically, not trying to think critically. He was using the same 4chan rhetoric, the same storefront rhetoric that we've all heard for years. He was just doing the same thing, being a race hustler, being a race baiter, being a rage baiter, whatever term that y'all want to make up. Like this is exactly what Charlie was doing. This is exactly how Charlie got famous. And I mean, honestly, like I'm not gonna lie, like I grifted, you know, like I actually tested this logic out because, you know, like a few years ago, I actually went on Twitch, spewed out this same rhetoric, and I built a community so quickly, built a following so quickly, race baiting, spewing out this same logic, these same talking points, and I got so many followers so quickly. It's because it's just so low IQ. It it like takes no energy. It takes no substance. It takes no type of critical thinking to try to get people to agree with this logic. Like there's so many like incels and so many like so soul boys and like feminine people out there that will go for this rhetoric. No, if you know about Twitch, Destiny, Destiny, Vosh, uh, Hassan, all of the major political debaters started from Twitch. What are you talking about? Twitch definitely has a political sector on there, but I went on there knowing that I could easily grift, these suspected white community, these suspected white communities on there because it's just easy just to grift with that logic. Like it takes no energy. You don't have to do research. All you have to do is just repeat the same talking points. You don't even have to like think at all. All you have to do is just repeat what people are saying. And that's literally what Charlie was doing. I don't know, Dark Face. I don't even understand why anybody would be sad about this situation. I don't know. That's a good question. But you see how, CJ stopped commenting now. You see how when I brought out how easily I was able to grip the white supremacist community. And I actually made like a decent amount of money too because they were donating. They were giving me money because, they saw a black guy repeating these same talk points, just like Candace Owens. I believe Candace Owens. I believe all of them are grifters. These femboys in the white community are so easy to manipulate, and how like easily influenced these people are. All jokes aside, I don't see anything to be sad about. The dude was a piece of shit, and he had it coming to him. In my estimation, the world is a better place. Exactly. The world is a better place because there's one less white supremacist out here, especially a super predator that was going to college campuses and trying to indoctrinate kids. Yeah, grifters don't like being called out. They also have a lot of prescriptions. Blow people's mind. Imagine how you're bragging. Yes, because it's literally easy to repeat these same. That's exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm trying to point out to y'all. Like y'all over here talking about, oh, Charlie, taught people how to think critically, think for themselves. Like he was some type of like person who just came with like this new way of thinking and showed the youth like no, like Charlie was doing the same thing that everybody else on 4chan and everybody else on Storefront was doing. Like I literally had troll accounts on 4chan and on Storefront because like these communities are so easy to grift. They have no logic. They have like it takes no IQ. Like these people swear up and down that they're high IQ. And I mean like that's like the meme about it, that these people are high IQ or whatever. But it it like takes no critical thinking to think how these people think. No, he did not. He Charlie taught the youth how to repeat these same talking points and look within the same box and like the same frame as like all of these white supremacists have thought in the past. And I don't know, I might like I was thinking about doing it again, coming back because Trump is the president now. So all I gotta do is come out as a Trump supporter and be like, oh, I support Trump, blase, blase, blase. And here come a whole bunch of followers. Here come, that community. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's facts, that's the truth. You're right, man. It's the same BS, bro. Like you have to look at what both sides are saying and do your best to piece together what the real truth is. Exactly. That's if you're the type of person to actually do that. But sadly, there's a lot of lazy people who just go off of, what's popular, headlines, what sounds the best, like who's, owning somebody in a debate, who can talk the fastest. That's why Ben Shapiro is famous, because he can talk the fastest, he can interrupt people, like he can, he sounds intelligent, I guess, from what, like a lot of people suspect, but like he's spewing the same rhetoric. I'm not full of hate or jealousy at all, but I know who was full of hate and who died on hate and who had hate on his mind when he passed. That I do know of. But no, sadly, Charlie was just carrying the same stuff along, man. Carrying these same old school hate mongering, fear speech. Like I'm in my 30s. I'm in my early 30s. So it's just like waves. Waves of this stuff have been going on for years and years and years. And you just see patterns. You constantly see patterns of like these same talking points over and over and over again. They'll like switch it up a little bit, like to make it seem like, oh, like their thoughts are new or whatnot. But they're just saying the same thing. They're just saying the exact same thing. I'm saying as far as meth overdose, we don't know if he actually died from the gunshot wound. So what I've been telling everybody is that we need to wait until all the evidence comes back, until the autopsy report comes back to see if there was drugs in the system. Because if he was on drugs, then that would explain why his blood was thin and why he bled out so fast. That would explain that. So that's all I'm saying. Just let's wait until all of the evidence comes out to see if he was on drugs or not. We need those two camera angles too from the guy with the white hat and the camera, like the studio camera. Leftist TikTokers are full of it. He taught them to repeat facts and statistics. Exactly. This is what CJ will stick to. CJ will die on this just like how Charlie died on it. Y'all will like keep looking at these same talking points as facts and these same statistics that they keep on bringing up year after year as facts. And y'all's communities will never change. I'm not jealous at all, bro. Exactly. I got 1,200 subscribers. Exactly. And, bro, I don't know what to tell you. So does Officer Tatum, so does Hannah Jones. I wonder why. Because rage baiting, race baiting, get you those followers, get you those subscriptions, get you those subscribers. It's easy to rage bait. Maybe like I just need to like learn, maybe I just need to stick to grifting. And maybe I shouldn't like come out and like actually like say how I feel, and like speak the truth and like point out the obvious of what exactly is going on. God dang, it's about to rain. But maybe that's my problem is that, like I just need to, nah, CJ's cool. That's the energy. That's the energy that, that they bring. All of that hate. And look at what all of that hate did to Charlie. Look at what all of that negative energy did to Charlie. But I don't know. Maybe one day, like y'all will actually realize and see the patterns that are going on. It's like time and time goes on and on and on. The same thing keeps on happening, and like the same people that keep on coming out with the same talking points, all this rhetoric and stuff. Oh my God, he did hurt. He did hurt a lot of people because he's indoctrinating the youth. See, this is what like I used to think. You know, growing up, I was like, when like all my friends and all, like I was like, because I grew up around a lot of white folks. I was like, like a lot of these people, they're not gonna be like these old white supremacists or whatnot. Like the younger generation, they're gonna have, they're actually gonna realize what's going on, and actually see like the world for what it is. They're not gonna be, like the same as like these old white supremacists or whatnot. But people like Charlie keeping the world around, keeping this, um, keeping this same rhetoric alive has sunk into the youth, and now it's just the same thing going on, going on, and I mean, like it's not dying out. You would expect it to die out, but that's not that's not what's going on. So it's you just said that I have 1,200 subscribers. That means I don't have a following. That means I don't have influence. So what is me on here saying? How is that going to affect anything? Now Charlie, as y'all just said, had millions of subscribers. He has influence, but yet he was still spewing the same rhetoric that went into the youth, and that's going to carry on the same mindset time and time and time again. Are you not getting what I'm saying? Or maybe it's too high IQ, or maybe it's too complicated for you to actually understand. That's what I'm saying. Like, just focus on y'all's communities, and maybe y'all will actually, help out y'all's communities, and maybe y'all won't be so damn crazy. Exactly. For sure. All right, let me find a charger so I can charge up my damn phone. Everyone is crazy. This isn't America. Cool. Exactly. So why? So why couldn't he have shown this whole time? Like, why couldn't he have, because he was going to these college campuses, he was, going out in public to these communities. So he could have easily, had cookouts, been hanging out with people, but no, he was over there trying to cause political division. And look at what happened to him. Now, when I apply the same logic to, what he has going on, now I'm the bad person. That's why I said at first, I actually felt bad about the whole situation, but now I completely understand. This is exactly what he brought upon himself. This is literally the culture that he created. He didn't, go to these campuses, like I said earlier, he didn't go there, try to spread peace, try to like connect all the communities, try to, like have everybody love each other, like try to figure out everybody's communities and, how other people think. No, he went there being completely divisive, causing political division, like talking about, oh, like the right, the left, Democrat, Republican, the same old talking points. The same old talking points. And look at where it got him. And CJ is going to continue to say that these are facts. And this logic will continue. These thinking points will continue. And that's why this ideology will never die off. And that's why these situations will keep on repeating and repeating. Because we have people like CJ who actually believe in his rhetoric. He spewed negativity, and negativity finally caught up to him. That's what. That's exactly what happened. You can only be negative for so long. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate you, man. And may peace be upon you as well. Numbers don't lie, and that's the fact. Anything you saw as racist or divisive was backed up in the numbers. That's literally what I'm pointing out. Like, are you not like I'm speaking English? Like, hopefully you're American and not like an immigrant or something. Like, hopefully you understand English. That's literally what I'm saying. I have 1,200 followers, 1,200 subscribers. Charlie has millions. This logic will continue. These same talking points will continue. Things aren't getting better, are they? Things have not got better. All of those debates, all of that talking that he did, look at what happened to him. All of that rhetoric that he was spewing, continuing to indoctrinate the youth, look at where that got him. And it's going to continue because people like you, CJ, go off of like who has followers, who has like subscribers, and all of this other mess. People like CJ fail to think critically. And that's exactly why I said when I was grifting the conservative community, how fast I got followers. And that's for a reason. What's up? What's up? What's going on? What's going on? Some people can't handle the truth. It's easier to repeat the same talking point so everybody can just agree with you and just get along. What's up? What's up? How y'all feel about this whole situation? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? What's up? What's up? What's going on? What's going on, people? Oh my God. Someone just goddamn headphones. Oh, there we go. What's up? What's up, people? What's going on? How y'all feel about this whole situation? How y'all feeling about this whole situation? What's up? What's up? What's up, people? Say something. Don't just come up in here and be staring at me. Say something.